Hello everyone. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss Article 20, Clause 3. It deals about privilege against self-incrimination. Well, now we are going to discuss the components of the provision. Article 20, Clause 3 states that no person accused of any offense shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. To simplify this definition, I have split this definition into three components. First component is it's a right available to a person accused of an offense. This Article 20 Clause 3 applicable only to the accused person. For instance, A is arrested in a criminal case. Once the police files an FIR and he is kept in a bar, behind the bar, he is called as accused person. Once the accused person gets punishment, then that accused person becomes convicted. Now, second component is it's a protection against compulsion to be a witness. In the second component, no one is compelled to be a witness for the offense. Third component is it's a protection against such compulsion resulting in his giving evidence against himself. One person should not give against evidence himself because it protects the person from a threat. Sometimes the police officials may threaten a person to give evidence against himself, or they may give a third degree treatments to get a statement from the accused person. To prevent those kind of situations, the Article 20 Clause 3 protects the accused person from the torture of the police to give a statement against himself. In a criminal judicial system, they have to follow few principles. They are the accused is presumed to be innocent. First and foremost, whatever may be the case, if a police arrests a person, that person should be treated as innocent until he is guilty proved before the court of law. But this principle is violated at present scenario because once the police arrested a person, immediately the media started to debate, and the media journal itself, the media trial itself used to give a punishment for the person who is arrested by the police. They never look into the issue whether he is innocent or he is accused person. They never bother about those things and all. Simply they will give a judgment before the court decides. It's one of the violation of the first principle. It's often happens in a criminal cases, especially with very sensible cases. The media tries to violate this kind of principle. Second principle is it's for the prosecution to establish his guilt. It's a duty of the prosecution to prove the case. They should not shift the burden of proof on the accused person. If the prosecution claims that the accused committed an offense, it's a duty of the prosecution to prove the case. The third feature is the accused need not make any statement against his will. The police officials or any other authority should not compel the accused person to give a statement against himself. If he voluntarily gives, that's a different matter. But at any cost, the police should not threat the accused person to get evidence against himself. Now, we are going to discuss few case laws on Article 20, Clause 3. First one, MP Sharma versus Satish Chandra. In this case, the important question arose that whether Article 20 Clause 3 covers oral statement or a statement which is in written form. This was the question raised before the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court held that Article 20 Clause 3 not only includes oral testimony, that is the statement given by the accused person orally. It also includes the statement in writing. So the police officials should not compel an accused person to give a statement against himself by way of writing or an oral statement. Both are violation of Article 20 Clause 3. Next case law is State of Bombay versus Kathikalu Accord. In this case, the important question arose whether Article 20 Clause 3 is violated when the accused is directed to give his specimen handwriting or signature or the impression of his palms and fingers. Generally, if the person is arrested, the police used to get his fingerprints, signature and handwriting things and all, because to examine the fingerprints with the scene of the crime, and also they will try to match the handwritten of the accused person with any other document to decide whether the letter has been written by the accused person or not. So these are all the few basic things done by the police officials in the criminal case. Whether it amounts to violation of Article 20 Clause 3. The Supreme Court clearly stated that it's not a violation of Article 20 Clause 3 because they are not going to get any statement. Simply they are collecting materials from the accused person. He is not going to give any oral statement or he is not going to give any handwritten statement to the police officials to use the statement against himself. The next case law is Nandini Sattapathy versus P.L. Dani. In this case, the question arose whether the protection is available only to the accused person or a suspect who is investigated by the police for the purpose of the case. Now, the Supreme Court held that the protection under Article 23 not only applies to the accused person but also a suspect. Generally, the police officials used to arrest a person before filing of the FIR and they will make some enquiries on the crime and they will try to get a statement from the suspected person. So in those situations, the statement given by the suspected person should not be used against himself after he was included in the FIR. Next case, Selvi versus State of Karnataka. After scientific developments, the police officials started to many scientific techniques to get the statement from the accused person. The scientific techniques like narco analysis, polygraph examination, and brain electrical activation profile. Whether these kind of scientific techniques comes under the violation of Article 20 Clause 3. The Supreme Court clearly stated that it's not a violation of Article 20 Clause 3 until the statement is used against the accused person. For example, if A gives a statement, that statement can be used for another person, but not for A himself. I will make it clearly. A, B, C, three of them committed an offense. Through scientific method, the police started to investigate A and they used that scientific technique on A to get a statement. While getting a statement, they can get statement with related to B and C, and that statement can be used as an evidence against B and C, but the same evidence should not be used against A. If it's used against A, it's a violation of Article 20, Clause 3. The statement or a witness can be given against another person, but the accused person should not give evidence against himself. But he can waive his fundamental right. Suppose if accused person voluntarily gives a statement and he admits that he committed an offense, it does not come under Article 20 Clause 3. That statement should not be obtained by way of coercion, threat, or any other means by the police officials. If the police officials get any statement from the accused person after giving third degree treatment or by coercion or threat, these statements is a violation of Article 20 Clause 3. So these are all the overview about the Article 20 Clause 3